Kashyyyk, a lush forest planet, is the homeworld of the mighty Wookiees. While they've adapted perfectly to its wild environment, most others wouldn't last long. The planet is layered with enormous rocher trees stretching across nearly the entire surface. The Wookiees built their major cities high in the upper branches, including Kachirho and Rukroro. From afar, the view is breathtaking, yet the lower you go, the more the beauty hides something far more dangerous. Creatures like Katarns, web weavers, and even the deadly Waishok will attack on sight. The deepest levels are known as the Shadowlands, a place shrouded in mystery and danger. The rocher trees grow so tall that sunlight barely reaches the forest floor. Wookiees believe the depths are connected to ancient forces and dark energies, and many see it as a place for personal growth. That's why young Wookiees journey into the Shadowlands as a rite of passage, facing its threats to prove their worth. Whether you're high among the branches or deep below, Kashyyyk's unpredictable weather is another threat. Heavy rainstorms cause sudden floods, and slippery surfaces make accidental falls frighteningly easy. Most off-worlders unfamiliar with Kashyyyk's extreme terrain end up lost or become victims of its natural hazards. Dagobah, located in the Sluis sector of the Outer Rim territories, is a remote swamp-covered world known as Yoda's hiding place after the fall of the Jedi Order and the rise of the Galactic Empire. Though quiet and isolated, it's considered one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy due to its harsh terrain, lethal wildlife, and the infamous Cave of Evil, a living force vergence steeped in dark energy. A vergence, or force nexus, is a naturally occurring concentration of force energy tied to a specific location, object, or individual. The Cave of Evil's dark power fills the area with an unsettling sense of dread, while drawing in deadly plants and creatures. Anyone who enters is confronted with illusions of their worst fears, and you won't believe what some Jedi have reportedly seen inside. Dagobah cycles between a dry and a wet season. During the dry season, the uplands become so hot that nearly all life migrates to the lowlands. When the wet season returns, heavy rains flood those lowlands entirely. Its landscape is an endless swamp with uneven ground, and the constant fog makes it incredibly easy to lose your way. Anyone wandering the planet must be wary of dragon snakes, bogwings, and massive swamp slugs. With no sentient species and no civilization, survival depends entirely on living off the land, despite the fact that nearly everything around you is trying to endanger you. Exegol, a dark desert world lying deep in the unknown regions west of the Outer Rim, was once fertile until the Sith devastated it and claimed it as their own. Its dry atmosphere and constant dust friction create massive static discharges that strike like lightning across the landscape. The entire planet is engulfed in these violent electrical storms and remains locked in perpetual darkness beneath swirling storm clouds. The space around Exegol is filled with fragments of Mbath, creating a red cloud of gas and stardust called the Red Honeycomb Zone. Navigating through this region is notoriously difficult. Like Dagobah, Exegol contains a dark side vergence, and the entire planet is saturated with dark energy. During the Galactic Civil War, Emperor Palpatine transformed it into the secret breeding ground for the new Sith Empire, where loyalists worked in secrecy to create the Final Order. Even after the last battle between the Resistance and the First Order, Exegol remains hazardous due to its dark energies and never-ending storms. There are more dark side-aligned worlds out there, and we'll explore them later. But not every dangerous planet is shaped by the Force. Some are made deadly by the people who live there. Nar Shaddaa, unlike the natural hazards of the previous planets, is dangerous because of its lawless society. As one of Nalhuta's moons and part of the Hutt homeworld system, Nar Shaddaa earns its reputation as one of the galaxy's most perilous locations. Though not technically a planet, so much happens here that it fully deserves a place in this discussion. Similar to Coruscant, the entire moon is covered in urban sprawl, one massive city from edge to edge. But while Coruscant maintains law and order, Nar Shaddaa is a hive of crime and corruption. Smugglers, bounty hunters, and criminal syndicates fill its streets with no law enforcement or interference from galactic authorities. Everyone who lives here fully embraces the chaos. The Hutt cartel controls most sectors, and inhabitants do everything they can to avoid crossing them. Luke Skywalker described it best. It's an entire world of pirates and outlaws. In the lower levels, nothing stops someone from attacking you simply because they dislike your appearance or you might be caught in the middle of a gang conflict. This is normal life here. During the Galactic Civil War, the Rebel Alliance considered the moon so dangerous that they refused to send anyone there, believing it would be a guaranteed death sentence. Tatooine, often called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, is impossible to ignore. Being far from the core worlds means it's untouched by galactic governments and has become a hotspot for criminal activity. Towns like Mos Eisley and Mos Espa are filled with violence and illegal dealings. For much of Tatooine's history, Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire dominated daily life, and while it shares the lawless dangers of Nar Shaddaa, the planet also brings the environmental extremes seen on worlds like Kashyyyk and Dagobah. Its twin suns bombard the surface with intense heat, and with no natural water sources, people rely on moisture farms that draw vapor from the dry air. During severe droughts, Jabba even imposed a water tax that bounty hunters such as Black Chrysanthemum enforced without hesitation. Residents must also deal with sandstorms that damage equipment, and while the days are scorching, the nights plunge into bitter cold. Beyond the towns lies the endless Dune Sea, home to crate dragons, the Sarlacc, and the fiercely territorial Tusken raiders. Hoth stands in complete contrast to Tatooine's heat. The planet is frozen from pole to pole, making it one of the most inhospitable places in the galaxy. Located in the Outer Rim, Hoth famously housed Echo Base, the Rebel Alliance's temporary headquarters after the Battle of Yavin. Building the base took 2 years, and the Rebels were the first group ever to successfully establish a foothold there. Smuggling rings had tried before, but the conditions defeated them. By nightfall, temperatures dropped below -60 degrees Celsius, or -76 degrees Fahrenheit. Combine that with constant blizzards, and it becomes clear why permanent life there is nearly impossible. The deadliest threat on Hoth is the Wampa. Semi-sentient and extremely aggressive, a Wampa will attack on sight, giving travelers almost no time to react or escape. Without sturdy shelter, outside support, and constant awareness, survival on Hoth becomes nearly impossible. Mustafar, the fiery world known today, wasn't always that way. It was once a lush garden planet sustained by a Force artifact called the Bright Star. When Lady Corvax tried to use the Bright Star to bring her husband back, the attempt shifted. Mustafar's orbit, neighboring planets drifted closer, overheating the world's core and transforming it into a volcanic wasteland. Rivers of molten lava cover the surface, and the heat can melt most known materials. Lava fields erupt without warning, destroying anything caught nearby. The planet holds a vergence in the Force, causing life to adapt in unnatural ways. Among the most dangerous creatures is the shadowy, a massive scorpion-like predator armed with a deadly stinger. Ancient Sith came to Mustafar seeking the same secrets of eternal life Corvax once pursued. They built a temple over the Vergence, which later became Darth Vader's fortress. The planet also became a home for the Black Sun crime syndicate. With its hostile terrain, dark side influence, and criminal presence, Mustafar remains one of the most lethal worlds to encounter. Maldochrice hasn't appeared often in Star Wars, but the little we've seen is enough to unsettle anyone. This icy Outer Rim world has freezing weather and is dotted with hot springs. You may not face the same lethal cold as Hoth, but there's something far more terrifying waiting beneath the surface. The planet's large canyons contain caves that hold no settlements or towns, only danger. Inside these caves live massive ice spiders that swarm anything approaching, moving with alarming speed and coordinated ferocity, often ambushing prey from hidden crevices and creaking ledges. They nearly killed Din Djarin after he crashed on the planet while fleeing New Republic pilots. Compared to many worlds, Maldochrice offers almost no chance of survival, and even brief exposure can be fatal for the unprepared, especially those unfamiliar with its treacherous terrain and cunning predators. Felucia is a humid jungle planet where the dangers come from the world's own flora and fauna. Thick jungles cover the entire surface, filled with countless plant species. Most plants and animals have evolved extreme defense mechanisms, making them hostile to outsiders. Almost everything on Felucia reacts aggressively the moment you arrive. The greatest threat comes from the massive jungle rankers, followed closely by toxic and flesh-eating plants, many of which release poisons or trap prey with horrifying efficiency. The planet is full of infectious diseases carried by vegetation, and the intense humidity makes them spread quickly, affecting even the strongest and healthiest intruders. A journal from a 501st clone trooper describes it clearly. The Separatists dug into the muck of this nightmarish world, daring the Republic to follow. They did, and were met with months of flesh-eating sicknesses, nocturnal predators, and haunting sights that linger long after the battles ended, leaving mental scars on all who survived. Dathomir, home to several clans, is most famously the planet of the Night Sisters, a group of Force-sensitive wielders of Force magic. The world is heavily infused with dark side energy, which the Night Sisters use to manipulate the creatures and environment around them. Their powers include transmutation, necromancy, and other abilities that spark endless curiosity and fear among outsiders. While not openly hostile, they are fiercely territorial and react harshly to intruders, often with magical traps or summoned beasts. The planet is filled with dangerous wildlife, including the Rancor, one of the largest and most fearsome land creatures in the galaxy. Beasts like the Nidak and Chirodactyl are equally threatening and roam freely across the desolate terrain. After the Night Sisters were massacred, Dathomir became a barren world, yet the lingering dark side presence, ancestral tombs, and deadly predators make it a place few would ever choose to visit. And it is whispered that even experienced explorers rarely return unscathed. Among all these worlds, each with its own horrors and dangers, many travelers still debate which one would be the worst to experience. Some worlds challenge you with brutal climates, others with violent societies, and some with mysteries that spark endless questions about what truly lurks within their shadows. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out more related content shown on screen.